Today we will take a look at brand new action camera gimbal iSteady Pro 2. This is a budget-friendly gimbal that you can have for $99, but it has some very advanced features that are not available even with some more expensive gimbals. I have tested it mainly with GoPro Hero 7 Black, I will explain why, but I have also tried it with DJI Osmo Action. In this video we will take a look at the performance and feature set of this gimbal, and we will try to find out whether you should get one. iSteady Pro 2 comes with pretty high quality travel case, which is very nice, especially at this price point. Besides the gimbal itself, you will get small table tripod, micro USB cable for charging the gimbal, mini USB to USB-C and mini USB to micro USB cables for charging the camera through the gimbal. The gimbal itself is very light, it weighs just 351 grams. It is made completely out of plastics, even the arms are plastic. It still feels pretty solid though, and the build quality is good enough. I can't say that it feels premium, but at this price point I have no complaints about the build quality. The buttons and controls have good feedback as well. It is splash proof and it seems to be pretty durable according to the tests that I have seen. The grip is actually very well shaped on this one. It is very comfortable to hold and it has very nice rubberized surface on the front side. The installation is very easy, you just need to loosen the screws, insert the GoPro or other action camera and fix the screws. Here it is obvious that it is made mainly for GoPro Hero 5, 6 and 7 because those fit perfectly into the frame without leaving any gaps, so GoPro won't move inside of the frame. The gimbal is also perfectly balanced with GoPro, which is pretty important because there are no adjustments. Osmo Action also fits into the frame, but there are gaps and it is not balanced. It still worked without issues with Pro 2. You have an option to mount the camera normally. In that case you will have access to USB and HDMI ports. You can also mount it upside down, and in that case you will have access to on and off buttons. GoPro has automatic rotation feature, so that is not a problem, but a part of screen will be obstructed. Osmo Action has both power on and recording buttons on the top side, so that is not a problem, but a part of screen will always be obstructed. None of the axes have free movement, which is a bit of downside, but I haven't found that to be an issue in practical use. Regarding the controls, you have the on-off button, mode button, toggle for tilting the camera, a joystick and trigger button on the front side. There is micro USB charging port and USB-A power out port on the left side. On the right side we have battery life indicator. Regarding the efficiency of the stabilization, first of all you definitely want to keep the internal stabilization on Hero 7 or Osmo Action turned on. That is definitely how it works the best. In that case the gimbal will take care of larger movements and the internal stabilization will take care of the shaking and smaller movements. If you turn the internal stabilization off, the gimbal will still help of course, but it won't be 100% smooth because the whole combination is very light. As you probably know, Hero 7 and Osmo Action have great stabilization by itself. In combination with gimbal it is even smoother. Gimbal can do much more than just stabilize the footage. It can also keep the horizon level, it makes the camera movement much smoother, it can lock all axes and keep the camera pointed in one direction and so on. You can also use the joystick to move the camera. Huge advantage of iSteady Pro 2 in comparison with every other action camera gimbal that I have tested so far is that you can set all motor parameters like on professional gimbals for mirrorless cameras. You can set the follow speed, dead zone and joystick responsiveness according to your preferences. That is extremely important for me personally, and it is actually a reason why I would choose this gimbal over some more expensive alternatives. A common issue with action camera gimbals is that the motor noise can affect the sound quality. It is possible to hear a little bit of noise with GoPro, but it won't ruin your audio. If you set the audio to wind, it won't pick up the noise at all. iSteady Pro 2 has 4 modes. Those are the pen following mode, where the camera follows horizontal movement and it locks the other 2 axes. Second mode is pan and tilt mode, where the gimbal follows both vertical and horizontal movement. The third mode is all lock mode, where the gimbal doesn't follow any movement, it just keeps the camera pointed in one direction. The fourth mode is all follow or POV mode, where it follows all axes including the roll axis, which is not possible with most action camera gimbals. It seems like there is no selfie mode though, so you have to rotate the camera using the joystick. Inception mode is also available by entering all follow mode and using the joystick to rotate the camera. What I like a lot is that you can see how many times you need to press the mode button written next to the mode button. You can control the roll axis using the rocker on the front side. You can use the trigger for sports mode. I prefer using the trigger for lock mode, but sports mode is useful as well. Double press of the trigger button recenters the gimbal. Joystick works fine as well. As I have said, you can set the sensitivity, which is a big advantage. Overall, I like the controls on this gimbal a lot. It is very easy to use, so I have no complaints at all. The app is very good as well. It connects to the phone using the Bluetooth and connectivity is very fast and reliable. The app is pretty simple. You have the parameter settings as I mentioned, the remote control, calibration and the firmware update. You can also set the motion lapses using the app. It is very simple, you can add up to 10 waypoints and see the duration of the time lapse. There are two 1/4-inch mounts on this gimbal. The first one is on the bottom side, so I use that one for included table tripod. It is a basic plastic table tripod, it works well, and I am glad that it is included at this price point. There is one more 1/4-inch mount on the left side, and you can use that one to mount some accessories. iSteady Pro 2 uses 3600 mAh battery that should power the gimbal for 12 hours. To be honest, I have charged it only once so far and there is still more than half of the juice, so the battery life seems to be really good. It can also power the camera using included cable. That definitely decreases the battery life, but it is a very important feature given that the battery life on GoPro or Osmo action is not great. Pro 2 also has USB power out, which means that you can use it as a power bank to charge your phone for example, which might be useful. One more thing that I will show you in this video is this PG Tech gimbal carry bag that I use for carrying this gimbal. It is really well made, I like the fabric and the red accents a lot. It is padded on the inside, so it also protects the gimbal very well. There are some extra pockets for accessories as well. It has integrated strap that you can store in special compartment. It is made for smartphone gimbals, but I mostly use it for this combination, so I just wanted to show you that. To sum up, I have to say that I am impressed by this gimbal, especially at that price point. The build quality is on the budget side, but the performance is actually quite premium. The stabilization works well, I like the controls, and the parameter settings are a huge advantage of this gimbal. It is also splash proof and the app works very well. Basically the only disadvantage for me is that it can't be balanced with Osmo action, but it didn't matter much in real world use. Overall, I am very happy with this gimbal and I might actually prefer it over some more expensive gimbals because of those parameter settings, so I do recommend it. So that's it for this video, thank you for watching, I hope that you liked this video and that you found it to be useful. Stay tuned for more videos and maybe consider subscribing if you don't want to miss my future content. I appreciate your feedback in form of thumbs up or thumbs down. If you would like to ask anything or share your opinion, please do so in the comment section and see you next time.